guess I probably should have just gone autos. Oh well. All right, we're going into game number 4. Towers of Doom. This is where Mighty will have to make their stand. SDE may knock his former teammates out. May be able to stop them from going. He'll still go to his first major offline. Hooligan as well. They're looking for that. Looking for those international events.
And again, Mighty will be tested on their macro play, as L5 seems to be coming back in their shot calling. In game number 3, of course, they could have been a little bit more aggressive, but they knew exactly what to do, just not fight. And have Illidan off to the side, try to out-rotate the entire team of Mighty. Maybe they will get this feedback and try to pick up one of the global that's available for them. The Haka was open, Falstad was open, even Avatar, I think, could have been better for the draft for themselves. But let's go into game number 4's draft. Is Towers of Doom.
Let's find out if Li Ming makes a comeback here too, because she's been so far absent from all 3 drafts, and this could be the map where she makes a large impact because of how much time she can buy. Illidan as well, insanely powerful here. Jungha will definitely grab that pick if allowed to.
I think Mighty will just ban it out from the beginning.
I actually want to see a Tassadar ban, because Tassadar is just empowered too much today. His late game is so incredibly powerful, Twilight Archon. He gives so many different heroes so much potential, more than Ariel does, I feel like, in a lot of ways. I would like a Tassadar ban here from Mighty. Just take that away from L5, because they will take it and they will run with it. They're drafting with the Tassadar first pick is so powerful. They did it twice. They did it in game number 1. They did it in game number 3 there, taking that first pick Tassadar, because that gives you the opportunity to draft anything, basically. And they're going to take away the Ariel instead, and I think L5 will gladly take the Tassadar if it's given to them. And what, this is just a Genji ban? Am I just reading the future?
You're living in the future, Wolf, and whichever L5 opens, I highly think Mighty will just take it from the beginning. Oftentimes Stitches was in the second rotation, so more likely L5 maybe this time bringing the Stitches along with Uther if Mighty just leaves that spot open. The question is, do they want to ban Genji or Illidan? Or even a strong solo lane when it comes to the second rotations. Martheo will be one that they are actually thinking into it.
Wow, a lot of the thought going into this one. I thought it was just going to be the easy Genji ban. I mean, it always has been.
There's a Tassadar.
Okay, they banned the Tassadar, so L5 is thinking like I am. So now Mighty can't. This ruins this playstyle of Mighty so much, because they can't build into this, and now, well, they're gonna have to have a more unusual draft.
The thing is, they can bring in the solo DPS like Illidan or Genji, but without Uther, which gives the armor onto your DPS and makes him survive and gets the burst healing. Because there's no Tassadar, but Illidan will be on the other side. L5 is going full macro against Mighty once again.
See if SDE can redeem himself on this Abathur. He did not have the best play in game 2 on Sky Temple. All right, so this is we're pulling out all the stops here. We're bringing the hyper carries up, Genji and Illidan, into the first part of the draft. And now with the 2 most empowering heroes in the game, in the meta, Ariel and Tassadar removed, how do you protect the Genji? I think you take the Uther here. You have to, right? Otherwise, he's just not going to be as valuable. It's not going to be as powerful. And maybe Uther and some other ranged DPS like the Li Ming, or even in the Vala, if that's what you want to do. The Q Vala can help deal with the Illidan.
Maybe they're thinking of the double reset. Li Ming is the common pair with Genji coming in, but Uther burst steal, is that going to be enough? So they bring in Rehgar. They do not really prefer to go in double support, so Rehgar for the ancestral healing, healing the front line when they dive in. I think that's the way they want to go for, and they already picked up the Haka. I like this adaptation into game number 4.
I don't think it's what Mighty is best at, but I think it's what the series calls for. And they're going to have a lot of fast clearing with Rehgar, with the Dahaka to split pressure. There's options, but Illidan is still going to be very powerful for global. And what the cool thing about this Rehgar pickup is that now they can ban Uther, and so we could have
it's easy.
It
Yes.
could have we could have some really weird support coming up for L5. We might see Karzim.
I think Brightwing and having triple global, that's also an okay option. Tempest brought in the triple global, and when you have Genji on the other side, seems like the Emerald Wind has been very effective counter to all those dives in.
It's really tough to ban here for L5. You're really just looking at a DPS. It's going to be Grey Main. Okay, not the greatest ban of all time, but a safe one. The Uther ban is obvious, and this is the really powerful move. And suddenly it feels like Mighty is starting to understand. The idea here is to, especially because you go all the way back to the Oreo ban, it's like, well, I think they're going to take Illidan, let's give it to them, and then take away all the tools they can use. They already took the Tastar away, they don't have that either. Tyrael is going to be a pick 100% for L5. They have to have at least that to protect Illidan. But what, are we going to see Karazim for Palm? Just doesn't really feel very strong, right? Morales? I don't think so. So, yeah, sure, Brightwing is a possibility with the triple globals that we actually saw executed already by L5. It's not a mystery, and Swoy does love himself some Brightwing. Well, definitely a possibility, but we got to start with the Tyrael first, and what DPS comes with that. Might even be the Li Ming.
I think this is about time where they bring Anubarak along with Li Ming and having the last pick just open for Brightwing and see what Mighty does actually to counter, or they can pick up the support and try to counter the entire comp on their last pick. But leaving
Lucio
instead.
Well, there's not a whole lot of CC on the side of Mighty. Lucio's not one that we actually usually think about, but he is coming in because Sound Barrier is going to be so powerful for Illidan. It's going to give them more rotational power. And they needed something to protect Illidan. The Palm protects him, but it puts him in stasis, so he's not really useful. Sound Barrier can save him and also can make it so that he can be a hyper carrier, which is what this entire comp was designed to do from the beginning. So Lucio actually a pretty reasonable choice. And now let's see what Mighty wants to bring to the table to maybe grab some extra CCs, because Lucio will not be able to cleanse pre-20. Okay, it's just going to be the Li Ming we were looking for earlier on, and Muradin. The greatest CC, but post-16 he could do a lot. That landing momentum.
Very solid, balanced overall team coming out from Mighty. They have dive, the resets, the global, and healing coming out from Rehgar, of course, will help Genji to stand back up. But L5, they have Illidan and can clone with a double. Is that going to be enough damage to take out Rehgar, take out Li Ming? They have the Sound Barrier and Sanctification for the protection, but is that going to be enough damage? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think they have to pick Tychus or something like that, right? Like, Tychus is tough to use against Genji with the deflect, but what other options do they really have?
If they go
Volstad?
crazy, they can go in Tracer. If they go crazy.
I mean, that is a crazy thought. I don't really like it.
But Lunara will be also okay with the poison damage. The sustained damage will be very
Lunara's a good
useful.
choice, actually. That's a good call. See what they want to bring. It's going to just be the Vala. Okay. I guess we're going to see Q Vala as we thought before. Very likely here against the dive Genji. Whose draft do you like more? I have to lean towards Mighty personally. They have Genji, first of all. Of course, he's pretty good. And they have better sustained damage. They have Poke. They have the Global. I like it.
I like both. I just want to go into game and see what happens here. It may be the end here.
It could be the end for Mighty. They have to win 2 games back-to-back. They've got a solid draft going into this one. It's Towers of Doom, their last hope on the line to go to Eastern Clash. Let's jump into game number 4 to see if they can bring us to that 5th and final game. In blue, their lives on the line here, trying to go to Eastern Clash. Joker on Muradin, BDG on Genji, Good on Dahaka, Nasang on that Rehgar, and Magi on Li Ming. It is Team Mighty.
And L5 looking to close the series. Hooligan on Tyrael, SCSE on Vala, Jungha on Illidan, SDE on Avatar, and Swoy on Lucio.
All right.
Q Vala once again.
Yep. We figured this was going to be the case. That's probably why they picked her over the Tychus.
And Mighty, the biggest problem for the entire series from the beginning till right now has been the macro fight against L5. And when they started falling with the shot calling, that was the exact time for Mighty to actually come back. But except for that time, which was the end of game number 2, L5 was winning the macro fight the entire series.
Yeah, absolutely. And they just have so much experience. Shot caller or no, you know, they just know what to do because they've been so good at it for so long. Oh, that felt like an Overwatch game right there.
Yep,
Lucio main BTW.
They're the Mercy mains though. Well, the wall ride's really kicking in, having the speed boost really lets Swoi to escape all that dive. Actually, Mighty does not have too many CCs, just a Stormbolt and a drag from the Haka. Might be enough when Illidan goes in, but the thing is, it's on all non-target skills. Can they actually pull onto Illidan when he dives in? Which will be very hard. Let's see how well they can pull onto Illidan every single time.
Also, just another small thing to point out, it's Lightning Bond actually for Rhaegar at level 1, so they're building more into the extra DPS instead of trying to have the mobility with the Wolf Run at level 1. And sure, Wolf Run did get nerfed a long time ago, but BDG is in trouble. Just buy enough time for that dash. But yeah, the extra DPS is going to come into Dahaka when he goes for the flank. The Lightning Bond is going to give them so much extra damage. It's so dive heavy. And they want to come in on top of Olive because she's going for the Q build. They just want to stack everybody up on side, make sure the Q is not hitting the single target. And we'll see how this one plays out. I think that what Mighty has done with the builds they're bringing to the table here with this draft is correct.
Wow.
Speaking of correct, that was so correct.
Blow. That's a reset onto BDG's Swift Strike for sure. It took a lot of time to actually try to get the camp instead of releasing the wave clear on the bottom. And also Tyrael barely got one. And Dehaka was already onto the other side, so it was going to be hard no matter what for L5. And after losing Lucio, there was just no way of contesting this.
Yeah. Well, Shuriken Mastery is the choice at 4 for BDG, and you can tell he's already starting to harass and get that stacked up like crazy early on. And he's not playing the safe Genji build, he's playing the hyper-aggressive one because of the draft that he's been given to work with. And as you said, the camp just didn't really gain anything for L5. It cost them 4 health on their core, that's what it did to them. Now, I like this move by L5, though. See if this invade by Mighty is going to work out, though. It doesn't look like it so far. Good gets very low. Maybe nobody gets this camp at the end of the day. Tyrael is rotating up, too. They don't see that. See, if he actually commits to it, they can get this camp. L5 backs away, or sorry, Mighty backs away.
Yeah, Mighty spots Tyrael coming up, so they have to back away, and they will take this camp, but Dehaka's solo laning is pretty strong. You will get some value off this camp, though. Muradin, look at the positioning of Joker coming in. He wants to spot all the rotations, and he wants to punish. He's just sitting in that bush forever now.
Well, at least for a long time. Oh, there's the grab. These are the grabs we need to be seeing, and we are seeing them so far. That was really well done. Okay, it doesn't have it off cooldown. Looked for another one there, but L5 got out just in time. They end up getting this wall for basically free. Scary moment there with the grab, but we're dead even in EXP. This game is so close right now. Sure, the 4-shot lead goes to Mighty, but everything else is dead even. Even in terms of structural damage, really, we're about exactly on the number with both teams losing 1 wall only.
BDG doing tons of damage onto Vala with Deflect too, but it's not enough follow-ups as he was the only one diving in. But when it comes to this, okay, they're trying to punish onto Nasang for overextending a little.
Look at all that extra damage coming out from Lightning Bond too. Jungha's got to be careful. He's buying enough time for them to grab this channel. They will even up the shots, 32 to 32, but the neutral one still remains.
Yeah, the fight continues, but the Haka actually soaked up an extra lane meanwhile, so they have the EXP lead for now.
Okay, let's see how this fight goes. Remember, this is pre-10. There's no Abathur clone. Good is going to be the target here. Actually, they jump onto Nasong in the backline. Jungha's just unable to get the kill. He takes so much damage while he's doing it.
Barely survived. Hooligan dives in, and maybe he wants to sacrifice himself for more kills. And does he? No, he does not.
BDG's caught. Does get out there, though. Close call. Yeah.
Oh, that's enough. The Qs at the very end. Nicely done.
Q build pretty good. That's going to be the win here for L5, grabbing this shrine. By the way, I don't even know what that Lucio talent is called, but we almost never see it, where he puts down the little frog ribbit things and they add some extra healing. Just looking for extra AoE healing around the area, I suppose, is really the idea. More movement speed as well. Pretty cool concept, especially in that little choke point where they were fighting. And yeah, I've only seen it used once. It was by Astral Authority. That was like a long time ago. I don't really see that talent very often in Korea. We never see it.
Sometimes for the sustain, and L5 wants to go in hard, and Swoi's keeping them alive, giving the speed boost and the healing. Here comes Mighty. The healing is enough, and Swoi doing tons of damage. Deaka is the first one to blow up.
Swoi is low.
Okay, they got the reset.
Yeah, he was kind of caught over there, so it's a 1-for-1.
That was a messy one.
Yeah, that was not clean. But the extra pressure from Abathur starting to show, right? You can see the global power there. Deaka, when he's dead, he's obviously not able to do any counter soaking, that's for sure. So L5's kind of winning the lanes right now, is pushing themselves closer to level 10. They should have it first if this continues.
That one, L5, the moment they knew that they were going to give up a kill to Mighty, they were already backing up.
Yeah.
And Swoi was just trying to stall time, so his teammate actually got the safe exit route.
So L5 doesn't commit to trying to get the top wall. They actually just grabbed this. They were looking to get the cap instead, so they didn't get 10 first. They actually lose the cap, in fact. So appreciated by Good there, no doubt. They do just have to walk away or amp it up to get away. Lucio, the getaway ride here. Here comes the hunt, though. They are going to jump in onto Magi. Gets the heal, though. L5 needs to be careful. It feels like sometimes when they're targeting down these heroes, they're a little bit disjointed to look for these picks. They need to make sure all the damage is there. Otherwise, you know, Jungha is going to feel the pain, as we saw in the last fight there, too.
The hunt was already used, and the Deaka is onto the other side, and now the macro is against them. Guess the being a little bit cautious this time, not using the clones too quickly. Deaka joins the team fight. There's a clone on the Tyrio. Some damage. Good positioning from Mighty, staying in together. There's a Disintegrate. There's a Hunt coming in. Now the full dive is here. Ancestral connects on the Magi, though, not on Na. And Nasang dies from the dive. BDG doing not too much damage to Dragon Blade.
He can't really do anything with that Dragon Blade, but they had the Sanctification so well placed to deny the majority of that damage, but still, Mighty is just getting cleaned up. They thought they could turn that fight around. They stayed way too long, and they're going to lose 3 members as a result. Could have gotten out maybe losing only the 1, but they thought they could turn it around there. Unfortunately, it was just not the case. Without the healing coming out from Rhaegar, once he was dead, it was basically over. The missed Ancestral on the Magi was not something that Mighty wanted to have happen. And that was also pretty disastrous on them. The Sanctification was so good against the Dragon Blade, though.
Only if you can Ancestral yourself. That could have been the best option, but...
If only.
2016, I miss it.
Can we all just have a moment of silence for the Ancestral self-cast?
Yep. But with that, L5, the aggro play, the keeping the heals alive, that was the biggest thing. And also BDG, because he was onto the other side, the initial hit from the Dragon Blade, he actually used the Dragon Blade for an escape tool as for himself, to dash out of the fight instead.
Yeah. I mean, the Dragon Blade did some extra damage at the last part of it, but the majority of what he was looking for, the Sanctification, was just so well placed. We talked about why Lucio was picked over a hero like Karzim. It's the sound barrier, the extra mobility as well they have, just so powerful. Okay, Joker's going to try to deny this, but he may die for it. This is a pretty greedy move.
No Ancestral.
None. Yeah, this may be how Mighty does not go to Eastern Clash, man. Nasang is going to be the second to die. A sloppy rotation, an unnecessary commitment there by Joker to actually deny that boss.
That was a big throw from Mighty, for sure. You should have asked, at least ask, how many seconds on cooldown on the Ancestral. If he does not have Ancestral, even if you're Muradin, see the damage coming out from L5. I think they learned it with their body right now.
Yeah, sure. They know now that wasn't a good idea. That much is absolutely true. L5 is just looking to maximize their advantage here. They're going to look to damage this bell tower, perhaps. Oh, just going to grab the wall. They know they can't get it reasonably here, but they do push the wave. Does give them a better position going into this next bell tower phase. Mighty has every tool, and they will have 13 right before this fight happens, it looks like. They're so close, maybe just a few minutes away. The tick-up will get it for them. But they have all the tools they need.
BDG onto the side. The Hunt actually goes all the way in. But of course, has
okay,
his
Hunt's
escape.
wasted. SC is very low. This is the best opportunity that Mighty may ever have in this game to take a fight. Yet again, the Sanctification really good. Strafe damage is insane here. But look at Joker. He's going to try to turn this. The Dragon Blade is sick for BDG. The Ancestral does commit this time, and he is getting the resets.
And that's going to be enough, and Borrow charges just enough to keep himself alive. Hooligan also may get caught at the end. He survives.
Coordination in this fight way better for Mighty. L5 greedy there, using the Hunt, actually Jungha did, to try to get a pick onto BDG before the fight started. That being wasted took one CC away, one mobility option away, and the Ancestral was really good. The damage that went on to SC in the beginning mean he had to back off. He couldn't be as aggressively positioned as he would have liked to. Forced the Sanctification to be used early. It was a good one, but Mighty then, because the Sanctification was used so early, got the maximum value out of that Dragon Blade. What they couldn't do in the last major team fight, they made it happen there. Very well done.
The clone onto Vala and the Sanctification was placed pretty good for L5, but they couldn't do too much damage. The deflect damage from Genji was real in that team fight. And how they were positioned, okay, hold on to that thought. Another team fight, they're going in, they committed the Hunt. There's a deflect again coming out from BDG.
They can't actually win this fight though, and all the while this is without the extra body of Dahaka. He's just getting some extra soak to try to catch them up in EXP. They're coming back in this game. They're 8 core health points behind, but they're about to just be even in talent tiers or EXP, which will get them 16, perhaps even faster than L5 because the soak is better here for Dahaka. But L5, they were finding picks that were going for these heavy dives, and it wasn't really working out for them in the beginning. It's still not really working out for them now. The longer team fights is where they're having better success, but when they use a lot of their resources early, like using the Hunt early, using the Strafe early, they can't win the fights. Or at least they haven't been able to so far. Ooh, this is a nice move. Oh, but he misses the Storm Bolt. Not going to be able to get anything with this one.
Did not have all his teammates back there too, so not going to be a big one, but this triple altar phase will be a difference, and A-core HP away as L5 is leading at the moment, and Jungha, for some time, his Hunt has been super aggressive. Seems like he's always a step forward compared to all his teammates. Maybe he needs to gather himself a little bit more, have the perfect communication and dive in at the same time. I think that can turn things a lot better for L5.
Well, Swoy is going to grab this altar, just sneaking it in here. It's going to be the trade before we go into the neutral one. But Mighty has the positioning advantage going into this neutral zone, so this is actually going to be really good for them. But Hooligan's looking for the picks here. They're diving in onto Nasang. He can't self-ancestral. He's taken out. Sanctification used early, but it may not matter. They can't win this fight no longer, can they?
I don't think so either. There's going to be another kill onto Joker, and Lucio does not even care about the fight. He's going to channel once more, and that's full 8 shots compared to 4 shots that Mighty did.
Mighty is in dire straits now. That was their last opportunity to get a big catch-up to grab that altar. They had the positional advantage, but finally L5 had the coordination to get the target down onto Rhaegar there. They tried to use Holy Ground to grab him, but the Hunt came in anyways. The targeting was good. They finally focused one target, found the kill, and then there was no healing after that. I think Rhaegar is a great target because he cannot self-ancestral, and they're going to try to look for a bell tower, maybe even more. Magi in trouble. He's going to get bursted down, and this will be the bell tower for sure.
That team fight, not a team fight. That was a bully, I'd say. Magi just needed off the diving in. And SC putting maximum damage with the Q damage, having Swoy into speed boost, perfect for the team comp.
Yeah, feels like an Overwatch dive comp we're watching right now. Maybe Diamond Skin could have been useful for protection, but that's just so non-meta. This is going to be 4 more shots. They control the altars. And they're going to grab another bell tower, it looks like, with this. This is their plan. With the minion wave that's here, they can actually grab this easily. Then look for potentially an escort push with the neutral camp to the top. Mighty's just going to kind of have to clean up the pieces. Things can get a little bit snowbally on this map when you lose an altar, and you kind of have to run around chasing the altars that were removed. Now L5 can have this escort while they have the altar to defend next to them, so this is going to be a great position for them. It's going to be full health. Mighty is just going to have to win a team fight now underneath altar. The altar of L5 to stop this from happening. I don't know if they can do it. Going to be pretty tough.
But they have to. If they want to come back in this game, they have to.
They don't really have any tools to stop these pumpkin men from just leaping in either. They don't have any roots. They're going to use Disintegrate to try to burn them down. L5 will just let this happen. They're not going to force this. They will, like they did on Dragonshire, play it safe. Slow and steady wins the race.
Seems like they want to go for double, and Avatar even moving up there for the channel.
Yeah.
They do have lots of siege with Li-Ming and Genji's pokes though, but it will take time.
All right, here's going to be the 5-shotter. They need to defend this one. If they lose this, they lose the game. This is it. Mighty, they want to go to Eastern Clash, but if they can't stop this altar from channeling, they will lose, and they will not be joining their they will not be joining L5 in Taiwan. Nor MVP Black. Here comes the fight. Good comes in. Here's the hunt as well.
There's the Haka, but Muradin not doing too much damage. Jungha dives in solo, doing 3v1. BDG tries to. There's a sound barrier. Perfect timing. BDG can't do too much damage. The Dragon Blade is not doing any damage in the back line. It seems like
Sank. They have Sank now, but he does go down before he can use it, actually. And that's so huge, the interruption on the Sank there. Joker's so very low. Can he actually heal up here? This could be a huge opportunity for Mighty, but he is going to get taken down. SDU chases him there. And even though they denied the sanctification, it won't matter. The fight will be won here by L5. Swoi will channel, and L5 will yet again be the Korean representation for the Eastern Clash. Jungha gets the pick here. Good buys a little bit more time, but there won't be anything after he goes down to stop that bell tower from channeling. Down he goes, or burrows away.
Burrow he goes away.
All right, he keeps making, he's the commentator curse here, but Swoi's now going to go over for the channel. He was the one who channeled the majority of these shots all game long. He will get the last ones.
And that will be game. And the end of the series, L5 will be going to the Eastern Clash as the Korean representative, along with Tempest and MVP Black.
And it must feel a bit bittersweet as SDE finally will get to travel to an international event, but by doing so, he prevents his former teammates from going. They've never been Mighty, always getting 4th place. That's been the story of this team forever, is just almost there, but not quite. And SDE, as he moves into a different team, as he moves into L5, the stronger roster, was a great pickup. Sure, has he filled the roles of Nacho Jin yet? No, he's definitely not as good as Nacho Jin was. He does not lived up to the legacy, but he's improved a lot as a player, Hooligan as well, and these two guys are finally going to get to compete on an international stage with fans watching them with a huge crowd. It's going to feel like the old Super League days, and you got to feel like SC, you can see it on his face. There's definitely some bittersweet emotions when you're preventing players like Joker and Nasong, who've been so good for so long, from going to travel and go internationally, but they were the better team tonight, and they will be the representatives.
I think just overall, from the beginning to the end of the series, L5 had better understanding of how draft worked, how the enemy team can't work, how your own team can't work, and how you try to outdraft the team. Because Mighty oftentimes, I think they were trying new things like Chromie and bringing the Falstad off worked, but they almost lost that game too. It could have been a 3-0 actually, but L5 actually deciding not being decisive was the worst thing for them in game number 2. But they won 3-1, and they're going to Eastern Clash along with Black and Tempest. I think they deserve to be there, and they are going to be a little bit weaker compared to the old L5, but still against all the Asian teams. I think they can do what it takes to actually become the champion and take the trophy.
Yeah. Well, that does it for tonight's matches. Remember, for those tuning in late, RRR, because of EGG's emergency health concerns, she was unable to show up for the match. And
yeah,
so,
on the way to OGN.
Yeah.
On our way to OGN.
So as a result, they will forfeit, which gives Tempest the 3-0. So Tempest will also be representing Korea. So it will be MVP Black, Tempest, and L5. That'll be the 3 teams representing Korea at the Eastern Clash that will happen in just a few weeks' time in Taipei. So very excited for that one myself. I want to see if Korea can redeem themselves, at least in the East, after their fall to Europe at the mid-season brawl. And L5 seemed the best team to do it of these two today. Really sad Mighty still didn't make it. Well, that's their team, man. That's their story. Almost there, but never quite. We're going to have our interview with the MVP. And G-Clef is going to translate that for you guys. Might be SDE himself. We'll find out.
오늘의 주인공 와 김승철
HGC from L5.
와 쿠발라.
Kubala. That was amazing. He never died.
개인적으로 자 승리 따내고는 이스턴 클래시 올라갔고.
Personally, after the win, going to Eastern Clash, how do you feel?
일단 저희가 리빌딩 되고
First of all, after the roster change,
많이 받았는데
you got lots of feedbacks.
1등은 아니지만 2등으로
We're not the first, but finishing
만족스러운 것
second
같아요.
is somewhat satisfying for me.
IT가 이제 1경을 맞고 좀 지는 경우에는 못 가는 경우가 좀 나올 수가 있었는데
네.
오늘 1경기, 2경기 마이티가 초중반에 좀 앞서 나가는
And
모습이 좀 있었거든요.
Mighty really had the early snowball in game number 1 and 2.
저희가 좀 초반에 약하다고 생각해요.
In
그래서
the early game, I think we're pretty
괜찮았는데
weak
이 경기 때
actually.
저희가 마지막에 오더가 좀 많이 갈렸어요.
And at the
메인
end
오더가
of
좀 아직 없다 보니까
the games,
그래서,
because we do not have a dedicated shot caller, we
그것만
were
아니면 다 만족스러웠던 것
indecisive.
같아요, 오늘.
네.
in our shot calling.
저도 이제 궁금한 게 좀 있는데
네.
사실 뭐 초중반에 뭐 1, 2세트 분위기는 좀
Of
마이티
course,
쪽으로
set
많이
1 and 2, Mighty
3세트부터
took the early
확실하게
lead.
분위기를 바꿨어요.
But starting from game number
초반부터
3,
강력한
you guys really had
그
the
재미없다고
momentum going
소문난
in.
L5가
네.
재밌는 경기를 하기 위해서 1, 2단을 기용하고 그리고 효과를 봤어요. 이런
And bringing
뱀픽의 변화.
네.
Illidan
주도하는
having the
겁니까?
changes against Mighty. Was that all planned?
SCS
아니,
SC가? 아 절대
SC?
아니죠.
네, 네.
그럴 리가 없어요.
없어요, 없어요.
그럴 리가
You're
없어요.
the one actually who
네,
planned
그럴 리가
it.
없어요.
네, 변화에.
일단은 순둥이 네.
SDE
SD.
was the one actually
하고
brought the change
그리고
to the
저희가
team.
일단 결제를 받는 시기죠.
And he's the one that actually we have to
그래요.
report to him,
그러면
and he will
여기서
approve.
질문을 좀 하고 싶은 게 L5에 그러면
You could
실세
tell
누군가요?
that was what was going on in the draft, especially.
저는 제가 볼 때는 두 명인데
두 명.
SD랑 정화.
I think
Ah.
Jungha and SDE
정화.
really
그럼
stepped
이제
up
거기서
tonight.
이제 오더가 좀 갈린다는 얘기는
네.
정화와 SD의
SD
그
선수가
이야기에 따라 가지고
Being indecisive means Jungha and SDE is not having the best time in the games, right?
추리력.
와.
아 근데 오더는
어.
Well, shot calling
잘안 하긴 해요.
잘안
was
해요.
네.
Jungha
네.
doesn't do too much
이겼군요.
actually.
네.
SD
아,
형
초심을 잃었다.
초심을 잃었다.
초심을 잃었다.
체크하세요. 체크하세요.
네.
초심 잃었고.
네.
그럼 누가 많이 해요?
약간 정화랑 스워이가 하는데
수호.
And Jungha and Swoi
루시오가
actually
더
does
신났죠.
somewhat of a
네.
shot calling too.
네. 좀 갈리더라고요. 그러니까
어.
저도 갈리고.
But oftentimes we have mixed
그러면
opinions on
개인적으로-
lots.
그럼 개인적으로 이제 팀원들의 그 여러 오더가 있잖아요.
We have
이
lots of shot
선수-
calling.
만큼 이 선수의 이야기하는
Whose shot calling can you trust the most out of all players?
많이 맞는다.
Or which one is the best? Oftentimes.
예, 솔직히.
Honestly,
네.
다 별로 맞는 것 같지
아,
I think
않아요.
they're
다
all
아직
맞는다.
아니다.
not
근데
예.
so good in a
그래도
way.
따른다면 정화 아닐까.
But if I had to follow, I would follow Jungha's shot calling.
이제 이게 서열이 갈려지면 난
그러니까요.
개인적으로는 여기서 정하 말이 좀 많이 맞는 것 같다.
실세는 두 명이지만 나는 정화를 따르겠다.
다 별로지만 그
다
중에서 이게
별로지만.
따르겠다는 얘기를
네.
해요.
Screencaster trying
그리고
to
궁금한 게 오늘 스워이 선수가 마지막에 막
make this
신나면서
fun,
막
make this into a fun interview,
보여줬는데
and bringing the
스워이는 주로 어떤 얘기 많이
SDE.
합니까,
Just
내가?
keep your mouth shut.
스워이는 약간
Swoi
다 아는
is
얘기.
뻔한
뻔한
얘기.
얘기.
Swoi
다
just
아는
says
얘기인데
that everyone knows
말을 안 하니까 하는
at the moment, but he doesn't really talk too much. So
다리
약간-
역할을 해주는군요.
말이 비었을 때 그때 채워주는 역할.
when he's not talking, when we're not really having the communication, he really fills in the audio.
다 아는 얘기면 굳이 말을 안
So,
해도 되는데 그
are you saying he doesn't really have to talk at all?
채워줘야.
네.
But
줘야
just
되는데요.
letting him talk and having the audio inside the booth is somewhat
아무 말 대잔치가
needed,
아,
you know.
그래서 이 분위기 메이킹을 그래도 스와이가 좀 많이 해주고.
네네.
그리고 이제
He's also keeping the atmosphere of live
김승찬 SCS 선수가 지금 담당하는 게
and SCSC.
재미.
그렇죠.
예, 많은 분들이
You're in
기대를
charge
많이
of the
나온다고
fun,
얘기하니까
the
와,
enjoyment,
재밌다.
the entertainment for the team.
재미 막 이렇게 많이 얘기를 해주고 있는데
네.
앞으로 L5가 좀 즐거운 모습 보여드리기 위해서 좀 어떤 준비를 하고 있는지.
What are some other plans that you guys have for the entertainment for the fans?
네.
어
재미를 잡을 수 있나요?
네.
Entertainment?
재미는 이건 아니에요.
I'm not sure if I can do that.
그러면은 진짜 궁금한 거 L5 팀원 중에
네.
누가 제일 재밌어요? 진짜
Who's the
이
most
선수가
fun
말만
guy on the
하면
team? Is
The
asking
funniest
now.
guy
이 선수는
from the team.
무조건 이 선수가
정말
인터뷰를
들어
해야 된다.
빵빵 터진다. 끝난다.
미치겠다. 올라오면 그냥 다 터진다. 있나요?
솔직히 다 재미없어요.
다 노잼이에요.
They're all no
오늘
fun.
노잼이고.
They're, he says all no jam there.
하지만
Nobody's funny.
Nobody's funny in the team.
가능성적인
It seems
부분에서
like
이제
it from his face.
I will, man.
그래서
He's making this interview
예전에
funny.
L5의 다시 과연 제녀 대가라는 이야기들이 상당히 많았는데 분위기가 좀 묘하게 흘러가면서 잘 맞아 떨어지고 2등까지 차지했거든요. 그렇게 되면은 앞으로 이제 가고
As
이
we're
클래식
at the
가서
beginning, the roster with the
어떤
roster
모습을
change,
보여주고
we were
아시아에서 좀 어떻게 되는지.
having doubts, but now you're in second place.
솔직히 지금 엠블랙이 약간 거의
MVP Black right
완성형
now,
팀이에요.
it's they're just a
벽이 좀
monster right
많이
now,
있는데,
아 느껴져요?
네, 좀 많이 있어요 벽이.
and
몇
the wall
겹이
is quite high against.
그걸
MVP Black.
한동안은 뚫지 못할 것 같아요.
I don't think we can
그럼
actually breach
2등을
the wall for a long time.
이제 여기서
이등을
월드
노리겠다.
목표를 2등으로 오면 블랙은 뭐 가시는 게 편안하게 보내드리고.
근데
어.
저희가 항상 말했듯이 맨날 2등 한다고 하지만 블랙을 언제든지 한 번은 이겼거든요.
Well, as we said, we
일단은 2등인 것 같아요, 저희는.
got second and we're second, but we can always climb over them anytime, you know.
여기서
뽑는 다음에.
정말 이 선수 때문에 L5
무조건 진짜
블랙
숨겨놨다.
무조건
이날을 위해서.
보여줄 거다.
네.
비밀 경기요?
예.
비밀 병기. 없어요?
Tell us a secret card.
진짜 없을 것 같긴 한데.
This one that
네.
you prepared against black. What do you have?
네.
None?
아니면 그냥
아니면
병기라도.
Seems like there's none.
거라도.
그냥 병기라도.
어디 뭐 묵혀놓은 거라도 좀
예,
꺼내보세요.
숨겨둔 병기라도
네.
뭐라도 하나 얘기해 주시면 누구예요?
네.
눈여겨볼 사람.
그나마 저 아닐까요?
The spotlight. I think
본인이다.
I'm the
최종
key player, you
병기.
know.
야, 진짜
와우.
정말 재밌는 선수네요.
정말 꿀잼이에요.
너무 재밌어요.
너무 재밌어서
본인이래요.
감동받았어요.
네.
본인이란
And
얘기 정말 저희가
SCSC
인터뷰
choosing
시청자분들
himself
지금
over all his
여쭤봤거든요.
teammates.
제일
진짜
재밌었어요.
재밌어요. 이제
예.
꿀잼 5.
That
예,
this interview is
정말
the
재밌네요.
best. It's so much fun. So entertaining for all the fans.
이제 이스턴 클래식 가잖아요.
As you're going to
어떤
Easter
경우
Clash,
어떻게 마실 건지 한
Let's
말씀
hear your last words
부탁드리겠습니다.
coming out. The shout outs to the fans.
일단 이번에는 아마 우승을 바라보기 힘들 것 같긴 해요.
This time I
근데
think becoming the champion
그래도
seems unlikely at this point.
갈수 있도록 하게 할 테니까.
But we will do our best to actually go
초현실적인
to the BlizzCon.
졌다라는
네.
아니 자신감은 김승철 아니에요 SCSC.
It seems like he already lost in the Eastern Clash or something.
지금
그러면은
보여주고 있잖아요.
블랙 없다. 블랙이 사실 없어졌다.
없다.
Just pretend like Black's not
블랙
here.
없다, 이제 이스턴 클래시.
뭐 저희를 이기기 위해 좀 많이 노력해 왔으면 좋겠어요. 여러분.
I wish a lot of the teams
좋습니다.
이대로
prepare hard to
블랙
go up
있는
against us
모습으로
because
네.
it will be
블랙이
tough
없는
fighting
모습으로
against us, you know,
네.
자 앞으로 열심히 하는 모습 기대하고
without
좋은
MVP
성적
Black. So,
기다리겠습니다.
That's right.
네, 다시
파이팅!
한번 축하드리고요. 파이팅!
감사합니다.
and that's the
파이팅!
end of the interview.
Oh,
with
Caster Park
SCSC
got-
fighting.
파이팅!
Caster Park didn't get a fist bump. Fist bump denied. SC. That's bad luck. All right, well, you would think SC would be a little bit more composed on camera considering he's been playing an esports title since 2010, but alas, in the last 7 years he hasn't improved his interview skills, but he is a top-tier player, and he will be the spotlight for sure, I think, for L5.
I think so too. After watching today's plays on his Vala,
SDE,
Wow.
though, I think he has stepped it up. And, you know, I said the sad story has to defeat his old teammates to go to Eastern Clash, but he did the job well. His Tassadar was really good, and in a meta where Tassadar is so powerful with double support, it's just really well played. So that is going to be the 3-1 score for Mighty. As mentioned, our second match of the night will not happen. It's a 3-0. Tempest gets the +3. They will finish with that score as the first phase ends and we head into Eastern Clash. We will, however, have matches tomorrow, so
Yes.
it's not the end of the weekend.
it's not for sure, and we will see the next matches coming up very soon. But this result, Mighty, I think they know the problem. But after tonight's match, they should definitely know the problem and try to work on it because they have a lot of time. They have a month of time to actually, before they go into phase 2 part 2, I think they can fix a lot of their misplays. Having to snowball their lead from the beginning, they can